I started working at Corning Glass Wellsboro in August of 1965 and remained there in different uh, jobs until 2001.
Okay. So tell me what about the ornaments. You worked there. What was the deal with that? What happened? What's the history of why Corning was making ornaments?
I started, I started in August of 1965 and was assigned to the decorating department in Corning Wellsboro, where we had three silver and lacquer machines known as S&Ls, and we would take the blank ornament from upstairs in the blowing room downstairs to the decorating department, and we would silver and lacquer them, and we sent them to various and different companies like Max Eckert, who his brand was Shiny Bright. We also shipped to Frankie, and they boxed and decorated ornaments and marketed them under different names, from Sears and Roebuck to Woolworths, different stores with their brand name on them, but they were packaged by Frankie and Max Eckert at Shiny Bright, and all of the ornaments were manufactured here, many different shapes and sizes, a lot of round ones as you see here on the table. We had 4 or 5 different sizes of round ones, and they were decorated here, and some were sent out clear to different manufacturing companies that would finish the decorating on the outside. During the early days, they were hand decorated, as you see here. These were stenciled and hand painted. During the 1970s, that decade of from 1970 until 1980 thereabouts, Corning Glass got back into the marketing business. We manufactured and boxed for retail and sold them under the Corning name. We also developed the shrink film with many different designs, and this is a shrink film that was put on a silvered Christmas tree ornament, and then the film is shrunk onto the size of the bulb. We did many of those. We did them for Disney. We did them for Hallmark, just many different names. For example, here's some larger ones. We developed the shrink film business, and then by the end of the 1970s, near 1980, Corning had decided to get out of the Christmas tree decorating business. Our machines were sold and eventually ended up in Gastonia, North Carolina, our silver and lacquer machines. And that process continues on today with Roush Industries. They're one of the largest manufacturers of Christmas tree decorations in America. We had 3 major companies we sold to. Another one was Christmas by Krebs out in Roswell, New Mexico. They bought a lot of clear ornaments from us to be decorated, and a third one is Holly Decorations. They were in Los Angeles, California, but they moved to Sparks, Nevada, and they are still in business today. But there are many companies that bought, after the 1980, that bought clear Christmas tree ornaments from us, and we continue to be the main supplier of Christmas tree ornaments in the world. Although we were no longer Corning Glass, we had become GTE, and in 1981 the plant was sold to GTE, and then in 1993 GTE decided to get out of the lighting business and capitalize on telecommunications and that sort of thing. So they got out of the lighting and Christmas tree business and sold the factory to Osram out of Germany, and they retained the Sylvania name for marketing purposes. They became Osram Sylvania, and until the end, when they closed the factory soon after its 100th anniversary in Wellsboro. Corning Glass bought this factory in 1916, and and they were making light bulbs for Thomas Edison, George Westinghouse, and those people that went in the lighting business. But they had the capacity, and when Max Eckerd came to Corning Glass Corning in 1939 during the embargo, they couldn't ship out of Germany any longer. And he went to Germany and got some different shapes and sizes. And in Wellsboro, we developed the molds and adapted that kind of manufacturing to the ribbon machine so that we could, at high speeds, make Christmas tree ornaments. And then there were the decorating departments that did hand decorating. And then later, we had the large department. When I started there in 1965, we had 2 crews that were working with probably 35 people on a crew, mostly women, that would do the packing, and we silvered the inside, lacquer coated the outside in various and different colors, and then they were boxed up. They were capped. They would cut the moil off, the little flare from the ribbon machine, and install the cap. These were all tray packaged and sent out to these different companies. And back in those days, the 2 biggest companies were Max Eckerd with Shiny Bright and Frankie. So that's sort of it.
All righty. Well, thank you.
But